Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be playing around with some more with my xTool D1. So before we get started, and yes, I'm out here in front of the trucks and the 300. I'm actually going to grab my tripod out of the red truck, and we're going to try something a little bit different here. But before we get started in today's video, I wanted to go ahead and mention, if y'all get any value out of today's video or find it helpful, please drop a like and comment below. If there's any suggestions you want to see, let me know as well. And also hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. So we are trying to hit 100 subscribers. But anyway, like I said, I am going to grab my tripod out of the red truck here. And I'm going to try something a little bit different. So anyway, I'm going to get in here, set the machine up for the rotary and that kind of thing. And we're going to try to do a tumbler. So the other day, while we was out and about in the 300, I actually stopped and grabbed a tumbler at Dollar Tree. So we have a Dollar Tree down here in town, so I've been going there, picking some stuff up, that kind of thing, just to try to burn. So like I said, I went ahead and picked one up. I have powder coated tumblers that we powder coated, but I figured on the factory powder coated tumblers, the mill thicknesses might be a little bit different versus on some of mine in here, and some of mine are 2-coat. So I figured there might be a little difference there. But anyway, I'm gonna get in here. I need to get the sticker peeled off of it, get it cleaned up, and get the rotary set up. So I'll show you that here in just a moment. Okay, so again, please excuse the mess. We've been moving lots of different stuff, trying to, get this whole deal worked out and everything. As you can see, there's vinyl in the machine that's been there for over a week. But like I said, been playing with this, trying to get this all figured out. Now, as you can see in the machine, I did cut out a like a square and jig, if you will. So we had this Luan that we used to do the soffits in the shop. You can see I burnt my SL logo into it, but and this stuff is pretty decently thick. It didn't like cutting all the way through this. I did 4 passes at 2 millimeters a second at 100% power, and it didn't make it all the way through, as you can see on some of these. I think what happened was this stuff's kind of thick, so the laser unfocused. I'm gonna say the first 2 passes are the only 2 passes that actually did anything, because there was a few places where it was kind of starting to poke through the back. As you can see by those marks right there, there's some more up top. But what I ended up doing, I just took a box cutter, just a box cutter, and went ahead and cut through it, and it cut through pretty easily on my cutting mat over there. But anyway, like I said, got us a nice square and jig. So we actually had this Luan down at the shop, like I said, that we used for when we redid the soffits. So it was actually that exact width. So we just cut it off on both ends because it was kind of jagged. So we cut it off on both ends, gave us a nice clean edge, and then I drew up in the computer just a square and just cut it out. So now we have something that's perfectly square to the machine. I can take it out pretty easily. It's just slid against the legs there in the back. So like I said, I got my tripod. I'll show you that a while ago. I'm going to try to do a time lapse of doing this tumbler here. So like I said, this is pretty thin stuff, and this looks to be like a candy type of powder, because you can see the grain through the cup. But either way, like I said, we're gonna try to burn this today. So I have my rotary, I have the extension legs for the xTool. I just went ahead and put, they give you 8, so I went ahead and put those together, 2 and 2, 2 and 2. So I'm gonna go ahead, get these on the machine, go ahead, get it spaced up, and we'll go ahead and get our rotary in there, get it plugged in, and get it squared up. So I should be able to use my little square and jig here, but I'll have to see on that. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead, do some measuring on this, see what I need to set up in the computer, and we will go from there. Okay, so for putting your leg extensions on, there is a little black rubber pad in here. You can see there. Go ahead, you can just take your fingers, pop that out, transfer it into the new leg, and then you can get these started. Now, I'm probably gonna have to have both hands for this. Those will just keep it from walking around on you. Like this is pretty slick. So, like I said, keeps it from walking around too much on you. And also, as you can see, I have marked where my legs sit on this table, so we can line that up afterwards. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these other 3 legs on, well, 2 in this one, and well, we'll go ahead and get our rotary plugged in, get it set. Now, the way the rotary is made, I'll have to show y'all. We'll have to take our square and jig and turn it around, but we should be able to use it. All right, so all 4 of our extensions are on. Now, the way these rotaries work, you want to be able, from the front of the machine, where you can read the xTool, have your button over here. This is the front of the machine. So from the front of the machine, you want to be able to read all of this. So with the jig set up this way, obviously that will not work. It might work on this corner, but you have your plug-in, so it will not work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to square it off of here, and that should be just fine. So I'm going to go ahead, get this out of the way, set this over here. We will flip our little jig around. And like I said, with this, I mean, this is about as crude and simple as it gets. And what I'm thinking, since we have carriage bolts in our table, I might have to, we'll see how this works. I might have to slide this machine back to get us away from that carriage bolt there. But it shouldn't be too big of an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. Also, with this style tumbler, you will need something to shim your rotary, just to make sure that everything is nice and level. Okay, so sorry if I start getting weird lines and stuff on the computer, but I have my logo here that I use for everything. Actually, it's the like the profile picture thing for this YouTube channel. But anyway, over here you will hit laser cylindrical for this roller, and then this is the power settings I'm going to use. I don't know how correct that is. I watched a few videos this morning from a couple different creators. One of my favorite creators has been the Clack Shack. I just like the way he does his videos. But anyway, we have our tumbler here. I'm going to go ahead, and yes, I have a we have this sock that floats around the house that's got rice in it, so that's what we're using for today. I have some 70% isopropyl alcohol and a microfiber. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this down. I don't know if it matters. I'm just going to do it anyway. And also, since the rotary is turned, you do need to turn your design. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and wipe this down. I need to shim my rotary, which I have some squeegees that I use for doing decals that we're going to use for that. So I did it on the table here and got it perfectly level on the table. So those two should be just fine for that. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead, get this cleaned, get it in there, shim it, make sure it's level, and then we'll go ahead and get everything lined up and start burning. Okay, so I got the cup in there. As you can see, I got my two squeegees under the rollers, or under the rotary. If you don't know, if you have an iPhone, you can go to the Measure app. On my phone, it's on the second page, top left corner. Go into there, hit Measure. At the bottom, you can hit Level. So this is leveled to the table. I've got it set where I want it to. So what I'm going to do in the computer is I'm going to go ahead and frame it. Make sure where we want it to be. Now I have in the computer, my starting point is in the top center. So go ahead, we will frame it. As you can see, it's running a little crooked there. Let me actually turn down the speed just a little bit. Okay, so I think I figured it out. I actually have this old core of duct tape. There's a little bit of duct tape still left on it, but it was just about perfect to the lip of the cup up here, diameter wise. So let's go ahead and frame it again. You can watch it. And that's just perfect. So I got a can of the sock with rice in it. Wanted to keep coming out. As it would spin, it would kind of work its way out. So in the pantry, which is right, if I can show this, which is right through that doorway right there, I found a can of creamy chicken soup. I think it is. It fit perfectly in there. So again, rolls perfectly fine, but the can tries to roll out after you do it for a few different times. But anyway, I'm gonna get this all set now that I've figured out what our issue is. So we should be good to go there. Let me get over here on the other side of the camera. I'll get this lined up where I want it. Seems to be about there. And if we come over here, what I was doing is standing over here, looking this way, and kind of see where, if you look at it, the laser kind of bounces off here or there. Now this might not work because this is like a transparent paint, but I was standing over here looking at it, see where the laser bounced, and it seemed like this is where it wants to be, and that's about where I want it, this way as well. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this on time lapse, and we're going to let it run, see what it does. Alright, so I kind of figured as much. Move this back some, but go ahead like this over here, get that out of there. Let's see this over here. So you can see it did nothing except for that right there. So I don't know. Yeah, that just wipes off. It might have burned it a little bit, but not much. So like I said, and you can kind of see right there, kind of burn it off the side. So I kind of figured that. So I'm gonna go rummage through the house here and see if I can find another tumbler and give it a shot. Okay, so I couldn't find any tumblers, so I actually just end up spray painting this one. So we're gonna try that. It's not the best job ever, but also did a plate, this little picture thing, and a glass jar. So we're gonna try that. Everything is nice and dry. So I'm gonna get this tape off of here, and we'll go ahead and get this in the rotary and see what it does. All right, so I get everything all set back up with my duct tape and creamy chicken soup. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead time lapse this like I did on the other one. So anyway, let's go ahead. I'm gonna change the camera over and we're gonna get going. Okay, so it did something that was from my finger. You see it's got soot all over it. So what we're gonna do is take some isopropyl alcohol. We'll wipe this down and see if it worked. The one thing I wasn't real sure about is if I had the speed slow enough to go through like 2 layers of paint. So like I said, we're gonna wipe this down and see what it looks like. All right, so that actually worked out pretty well. It could have been a little slower, but I'll show you that here in a minute. But now we got this glass jar in here. I took my spacers out, refocused the laser, and resized my image a little bit. On this one, made it a little slower. So this one we're running 60 mils a second. So we're gonna go ahead, set this to center, because I got that kind of halfway centered where I want it. We're gonna go ahead and frame it. So we'll come over here. Don't wanna, that's a little large. So you don't want to go outside of your painted areas. So I'm just going to back this back down to 3, which is what the tumbler was. We'll reframe it once more. Good to go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead, put my funny colored goggles on, and we'll get this guy rolling, and then I will show y'all the tumbler. So here we go, once more. And if y'all like that time lapse down below, let me know. But I'm gonna let this guy roll, and like I said, we'll take a look at the tumbler here. We'll go in here in the kitchen where it's a little bit quieter. All right, let me turn these that way I don't have to look at my ugly mug. But anyway, there we have it. So that is the scar that I was talking about right there. That is from the first one we did. I had it aimed, I had the laser aimed over here, and it shot through the side. So that's what that little scar is from. But if we would have cut it a little deeper, that probably would have went away. So this was 70 mils a second. And like I said, it didn't go all the way through the coating here. I'd say it got pretty close, but it didn't get all the way through. So that scar is, you know, like 2 passes over it, if you will, and down to the bare stainless. But I mean, noticeably it's different. It is kind of subtle, which is pretty cool. I do like that. And yes, I kept a Coke can. I'm gonna try to do a Coke can too while we have the rotary set up in there. But like I said, the jar is running in here right now. But what we're gonna do with this, since there's no markings at all on this except for now my logo, we're going to turn it around. We're going to paint it again here on the back. I'm going to slow the machine down and we're going to rerun it. Just to kind of see what we got. But like I said, we'll rerun it a little bit slower, see what it does. But anyway, also if you're wondering, the paint we used is one of those big turbo cans of Rust-Oleum. A little bit much for like for this. Just one, and that's all you need. We did do 3 coats over this, so that paint was pretty thick. And I told my grandpa before we run it that I wasn't real sure if it was going to go all the way through, but it does give it a nice effect. So we're going to run up here. We're actually going to get some different paint and retry it. But let's go back in here and see. There we go. So this one looks like it's just about done. So here in a minute or so, it'll probably be done. Maybe 2 minutes. But when this one gets done, we'll pull it out, clean it. What we're using as far as taking that off, 91% isopropyl alcohol takes it off pretty quick. We do have a spray bottle here. It's got 70%. It does work, but it is slower. So just kind of keep that in mind. But like I said, anyway, this ought to be done here in just a moment. We'll take it out, get it cleaned, and take a look. Okay guys, so yesterday we had a few little hiccups. I don't know what was the deal. We went and bought some different spray paint, and both the things we used that spray paint on we had issues with. So we went back to our original spray paint, and I got the tumbler in right now. So it's burning. I also changed my settings on here. We went to 140 lines per centimeter instead of 100, which is what it was set at originally. And I bumped the speed down just a little bit to from 70 to 50. So we're going to try that and see what it does. That did up our time, but I mean, kind of is what it is. So from what I had looked, the lines per centimeter will make things less quality or more quality. The more lines, the closer together, should be better quality. So we're going to try that and see. I'm not going to set up a time lapse on this one, so I don't want to bore y'all to death. But I'm going to let this run. I got to go in here in the kitchen. We're going to do some stuff. Been doing some planning and that kind of thing. So I'm going to let this run, and here in probably about 15 minutes we'll come back and see what we got. Okay, so while that one's in there burning, figured we'd try this one. So I burnt this one again before the tumbler with that just the cheap spray paint. Tried it yesterday over here, and it didn't really work. So tried it again and whatnot. And also, while this was burning, we got some powder in from Prismatic. So got some heavy silver here and lollipop red there. So should be a video coming up on that pretty soon. Don't mind the mess. This is not the cleanest process. But what I've been doing, I got microfiber down in one of these sponges. That way it doesn't get all over the table. Take some 91% alcohol. Now, this doesn't work so good on the tumbler. Just kind of dab a little bit on here and there. That way everything gets covered. And then, like I said, it doesn't get on the table because of that down there. So that's a nice thing. But put that on there, let it soak in. And as you can see from these little veins coming up, it's actually eating away at the paint. So it's actually pretty neat. You can sit here and watch them. But I'm gonna let this sit. I've done one kind of run already, so we're gonna do another one. Well, that one. We'll let it sit and see how it looks. Okay, so we got the paint off. As you can see, I mean, it's etched, no doubt about it. So here was yesterday's mess up, and then the first. So on camera, it probably doesn't really look that different, but I don't know if y'all can hear that. Today's is definitely more etched than yesterday's, so, or than the first one there. So like I said, definitely more etched, more pronounced. So that is that. And I know this one was from today because we did have a little line come up in it right there. You can see it. But I think as far as the etching goes, it's pretty nice. So the tumbler is done. We did mess up the tumbler a little bit, but you can see here was that the first one? That was, no, yeah, that one was the first one. And then in wiping the last one, we did wipe some of the powder off. Started out with this, it didn't work. Then some more, I don't know what happened yesterday, and then today's. So this is from acetone, and that's also why it's discolored and why some of this powder is gone from here, if you can see that there. But as far as the etching goes, it did make it all the way through down to the bare stainless, and it is very, very nice. So I think and also on this we use the same settings here as well. So both of these were the same settings that I mentioned to y'all a while ago. 140 lines per centimeter, 50 or 60, I think it's 50 millimeters a second, 100% power. So like I said, you know, this was from cleaning it because we let that sit outside and dry yesterday, and it was on there. But anyway, I'm gonna get these rags with alcohol all over them off of the kitchen table, and well, I guess that will be a wrap for this one. I don't have any more tumblers. I think we're gonna try to go get some tonight at Walmart or something, because I have to run to Conway and get some other stuff. But anyway, there they are. So pretty happy overall. I mean, like I said, this is not the machine's fault, but get us a thumbnail here. Let me move that a little bit. But like I said, I mean, that's not the machine's fault. That was just us cleaning it. So all in all, pretty happy with it. Like I said, a little more dialing in, and we should be good to go. But anyway, I'm gonna do some cleanup here, and I need to put this powder up, and I just got another package in the mail. So I'm gonna open it up, see what it is, and we'll probably go ahead and end out the video there. But anyway, guys, like I said, I think that's gonna be the end of this video. So what we're actually about to do, we're gonna hop in the car. We're actually gonna go to Conway. We gotta go do a few things in Conway anyway. So like I said, we're gonna hop in the car, we're going to Conway and get a couple tumblers. And then in the next video, we're gonna give this another go on some powder coated tumblers. Granted, I can find some. So with that being said, guys, like I said, I think that's gonna be a wrap for this one. So if y'all enjoyed today's video or found it helpful, please drop a like and comment down below. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope everybody has a great day.